Number 14, Syracuse travels to Clemson. Number 5 in the country, Clemson 7-0, Syracuse 6-0. Clemson favored at 13.5 here. Over under 49.5 has come down a little since the open. I worry a bit about the Cuse rush defense, which I've talked about in the past. Is Clemson really just going to be able to get their run game going to set up the pass? I mean, Syracuse is outside the top 100 in rush success rate and EPA per rush. And if you look at the Syracuse schedule, they seem right to me. They beat Louisville in the opener in dominant fashion. Weird things happen in those season opening games. But their other wins came against UConn, UVA by 2. That looks worse and worse by the day. Wagner, they beat up Purdue team, and they should have lost to Purdue. Purdue had an 80% post-game win expectancy, and then they played the NC State backup quarterback. So, yeah, all their metrics look great, but who have they really played? I did go back in that Clemson game, looking at that Clemson-Florida State game, and I actually was not as mad about my Florida State play as I was. I mean, Florida State, I think, outgained them by about 100 yards, had opportunities in that game. So I don't know if I want to lay 2 touchdowns here, but I'm not playing Syracuse. I'll tell you that. There's too many questions I have for them. But the Clemson defense it's missing something, which is, I don't know what, but it's just not as elite and as dominant. And they've had a lot of pieces moving in and out. So maybe it's just like a continuity, let's get healthy thing. And, last week was the healthiest they've been. And Florida State has a good offense, but Florida State was moving the ball at will against them. I think you really like Clemson here. What's the handicap?
I do. I don't think the odds makers or the market has caught up to how good Clemson has been, or the fact that the defense is improving. And the thing that's been missing from them, Stuck, is health. Like, we can point to Wake Forest tearing up the secondary. We can point to Florida State being able to run at will. These are issues that are being worked out as we are, bringing Brian Barisi in. We're bringing Xavier Thomas in at the edge. Andrew Makuba is now playing full-time in the secondary. So those players haven't always been there, and they don't have their lungs yet, right? I mean, for them, this is week 0, week 1, week 2. And so I expect that to get better and better for Clemson as the time goes on. And when you look at it, they've had 3 straight covers. Clemson has had 3 straight covers by a combined 8 points against the closing number. So what that tells me is this defense is getting better, and power ratings from the odds makers in Vegas or Jersey, wherever the hell you are, they're just a point or 2 shy of where this team is ending up. And frankly, Florida State had to really work to get within the number at the end of that game. So, this is a number for me that I make at 17. I bought it at 13. I would buy it at 13.5. I'd probably go real light at 14 once it gets there. And I think Syracuse should get a lot of credit. Dino Babers should be up for Coach of the Year. They're already bowl eligible. But the defense is not generating a pass rush. They have a poor line yards and stuff rate number. And that means Clemson, specifically Will Shipley and DJ Uiagalelei, is going to be able to hit gaps all day on the 3-3-5 defense. It's not a good matchup at all. And Garrett Schrader, and just keep this in mind as Syracuse keeps progressing, Garrett Schrader is getting worse. Since week 3 against Purdue, that crazy game that they had there, Garrett Schrader has produced only 4 big-time throws and 7 turnover-worthy plays. His numbers are severely heading.
And he did nothing in that Purdue game until the prevent at the end. Their offense was doing nothing.
His numbers are severely going in the wrong direction. And what's crazy about it is his pressures are getting less game by game. So I don't understand why he's generally getting worse. The pressures are lightening up. Why is he getting bad, right? So just keep that in mind. I could easily see this be a Clemson 15, 14, 16-point win. Play it accordingly, but we're riding the Tigers all the way to the college football playoff.